I can't. Tea talk, not caffeinated. We're just breaking it right on down to the self-care. I picked a chill mug to manifest this kind of zen. I pulled a tarot card before this coffee talk and got the sun, which I'm taking as just like good energy. And I have my essential oils here that I'm about to drown myself in. I'm gonna put on meditation. I need this zen in my life. I just wanna just drown myself in this. Okay, we're ready for this life chat. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna be filming a tea talk with you guys. It's kind of like a coffee talk, it's only just that I'm drinking a chamomile calming tea instead because I'm a little stressed out. If I drank any more caffeine today, I would be strung out, so I've decided that I still wanted to have the premise of a coffee talk, a warm, comforting beverage, some comfy sweaters. I don't have my reading socks on. I just wanted to get comfortable and sit and talk with you guys as if we were actually sitting and having a cup of tea right now. Socks on. Because the thing is, every time I do a coffee talk, I feel like I always sit down and I find some like silver lining and I try and just pitch this whole like point form, just this connects to this, which connects to this, and it's very just, and today I'm not feeling that way. Today I just feel a little bit more frazzled. I just feel all over the place, and I figured that it could be beneficial for me to maybe just sit down and show this side of me sometimes too, because I just kind of needed to talk, and I figured you guys are always so open to me talking to you, so why not? Basically, this tea talk is going to be a sum up of how I've been feeling lately and how I've been dealing with how I've been feeling lately. So if you guys have been caught up all up in your feels, let me know. Maybe Mercury's in retrograde, maybe it's something to do with the phase of the moon, maybe it's just, you know, the energy going around this time of year. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Everybody's getting tested and I don't like it. So like I said, even though I did like point formed just little basic things I wanted to touch on in this video, I just wanted to do a coffee talk that didn't really have any like direction. I just wanted to have a talk, okay? So as you guys know, I show you a lot of my life. I've been vlogging a lot more with YouTuber. I've just been, in general, it's kind of been a goal of mine to insert a lot more of my personal life into my channel, solely because what I do and who I am kind of just, you know, like what I do on a daily basis is YouTube, and YouTube is my job, and my job kind of is my life. Does that make sense? And so I feel like it's been a goal of mine lately to try and open that up more and be just more creative with showing different avenues and different phases of my life and all of that. But there's still a lot of my life that never sees the camera. There's still a lot of my life that I don't talk about on Twitter or Instagram or even on my blog. Even though I do in a way like write about things that are very personal to me, I feel like I said, with coffee talks in general even, I kind of sum it up at the end of the day with this overall consensus rather than getting into details of my own personal life. And that's solely because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to just make videos sitting around complaining all the time about the things that I have going on in my personal life, because who needs that? Like, you don't want to sign on here and just listen to me complain about like the things that are going on that are stressing me out with my family, or things that are going on that stress me out with work, or things that are going on that are stressing me out in my personal life, and just like all of that. But at the same time, these are things that are still happening on a daily basis. They're still affecting me on a daily basis. And I'm having one of those days where I just feel like it all kind of built up and I'm just like done with it, you know? I just want to talk about it. So like I said, there's a lot that's been going on off camera that we haven't talked about. I've had a lot of family stuff go on over the last couple of years that I've never really found a way to incorporate it into my channel, or incorporate like how I'm processing it through my channel. Sometimes it just sucks, you know, and there's not much you can do about it. You just kind of have to admit that there's just things in life that suck. Copyright strikes that have been going on to my YouTube channel, and I've had to like deal with just that, and putting all of this work into making these daily videos and then putting them up and having a copyright strike sucks. But it sucks even more when you have permission to use the music and the people that gave you said permission just kind of stop answering you. And it sucks because I'm like, I know that these people are probably really good people, and I'm hoping that it's just like some sort of misunderstanding, but I've just been left in the dark about it and nobody's helping me, and then it's stressful. I've been breaking out in like this rash that I get around this time every single year, but it's just another thing that you're just like, I just don't want to deal with that, you know? Like, why does that have to come on top of everything else? I've been falling behind on things, because when life gets busy, we talked about this already, but there's things that kind of end up going on the back burner. So all of the things that I've knowingly had to put on the back burner, and I know that I had to do that solely because realistically there's only so much I can do in a day, it doesn't mean that it's not still sitting in the back of my head and it's not kind of giving me anxiety knowing how much I'm gonna have to catch up on it. There's just been a lot going on, and not that I want to like vomit all of that onto you guys, or, you know, not that I'm like drowning per se. I'm joking about drowning because I feel like what else can you do, right? When life kind of hits you with that kind of stuff, when life hands you lemons, you know, just gotta laugh with the lemons. I don't know. Every time I just can't process, I'm just gonna sip from the calm chamomile until it makes me calm. Just kidding, I'm calm. I don't want to like bleed my energy onto you guys, but I need a timeout. I need a tea talk. I need a boost. And I mean, on top of all that, there's always things going on in our life on a general consensus too, right? Like there's always like wondering if you're heading in the right direction, wondering if you're making the right choices on a day-to-day basis, wondering when is the right time to start, you know, really start ingraining new habits, or when is it time to kind of let go and let yourself just kind of coast through whatever it is you're going through. Like it's a lot to kind of process when you're going through a lot of things at once. And I find that especially in our day and age when technology is advancing so fast and everything is changing so rapidly, it can seem a little overwhelming, I guess. If there's any general word I would use to describe how I'm feeling right now, it's just I'm a little overwhelmed. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're watching this, whether it's with school, family, or just juggling all of the things that it means to just be alive and waking human in today's world, I get you and I feel you, and I have faith that we can work through this. When you look at your life and you ask like, where is this all heading? Where is this taking me? That is like a question that has been kind of sitting in the back of my mind lately too, just because I think it's easy when we're super happy and everything's going really right for us to feel like, okay, I'm good, everything's fine, I'm heading in the right direction, and everything feels aligned, and that's a great feeling. But there's also, you know, with the balance of yin and yang, there's always going to be a counterpart to the good, right? And sometimes we also go through phases where we almost feel like we're stumbling and we're doing things, but we're wondering what we're doing it all for and where is it all going and what's it kind of supposed to mean. And not that I'm saying like I'm having like some sort of life crisis dilemma where I'm just like, what am I doing? Like I know what I'm doing, but I mean, you feel like you could feel more connected to all of the doing, is what I'm saying. There's this quote I read recently. I posted it to an Insta story when I was going for a run, actually. I took a picture of the CN Tower. It was moody. It was by Lao Tzu, and it was, if you don't change direction, you might just end up where you're heading. That question of like, where am I heading has been sitting in the back of my mind, and not even just like with work, because I feel like work is the one thing I kind of do know where I'm heading, or at least I know where I want to head, but on like on a personal basis even, just like, where am I heading? And I feel like it's always when we try and make change in our lives and we try and push our lives forward that the big snooze, as known by Jen Sincero, she explains it in You Are a Badass as the big snooze, as being this just like big giant force that almost kind of tries to push you back where you already are. So let's say you take the situation you're in, i.e., for me, it's like right now, or just in general over the last couple of weeks, me just having those good intentions of wanting to just put in good work and create good change. And the big snooze is testing how serious I am about that. And that happens to us a lot. I feel like the minute you are like, hey, here's my game plan, here's my action, like here is exactly how I'm going to do it, and all of your intentions are super good and everything you're putting into it is super genuine, the universe is going to test just how serious you are. And so that's partly why I find a little bit of humor whenever things go wrong. Like right now, even though I'm feeling stressed, even though I'm like kind of venting about it, I also am kind of laughing about it because I know that it's just a test from the universe to see how serious I am about wanting to work hard. It's just, goddamn, sometimes that test sucks. The test always gets you where it hurts the most. And then you almost have to kind of like question or ask, what do the results of these tests mean? So that in a way kind of makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm getting something out of it. Like when you can find the lesson in the setbacks that you're having in life, then I feel like you can start to unlock, you know, the doorway to coming out on the other side and things falling back into place again. It's almost a matter of trying to remain curious when you want to get frustrated, because that's exactly what I want to do right now. I just want to be so frustrated, and in a way I am frustrated. This morning I was super frustrated, and normally frustration can affect you in two different ways. It can either turn into self-destruction or it can turn into self-fuel. And so I had to take this moment this morning where I was feeling all of that overwhelm and that heightened energy, because when we're overwhelmed, it really is. It's a spike of energy and a lot of weight, and then suddenly you're faced with two options. You either let it crumble you or you try and find a way to force it into fuel. And so I decided today that I was going to force it into fuel. I was going to turn it into a tea talk that maybe somebody out there who's also feeling overwhelmed would listen to and be like, yes, I'm overwhelmed too, I get it. And we could all just find a way to turn it into good energy rather than bad energy. That said, I mean, take your moment of frustration. I took mine this morning. I turned off everything. I did my yoga. I felt that energy and I let it kind of pass through me so that I could turn it into good energy or turn it into good fuel. If you suppress the way that you feel, if you suppress when you're stressed out, your suppression is going to turn into regression. You're going to end up working backwards. You're going to end up wanting to drop more things and feeling just like, I give up. Like, you know that meme where the guy just like tosses his papers and he's like, screw this. But then the next following meme is like him picking the papers up, being like, I actually really need these. If we can skip over the screw this and just go straight to like, I actually really need these. I just need to put my head down and get to work and do what needs to be done and just like turn it into fuel, then that is how we win. That is how we push the big snooze back to where it came from. And that is where we find resilience, or at least it's what I'm trying to do right now. There's always going to be discomfort with being in the in-between. And I feel like when we're not in those phases or those pockets of life where everything seems to be flowing so in our favor, we tend to feel uncomfortable with the opposite. And that's obviously human. Like, nobody wants to feel comfortable when things aren't going right or when you're being tested by the universe. But at the same time, if we can find a way to just be at ease, I'm not saying you have to be comfortable, I'm not saying you have to enjoy yourself, but if you can find peace exactly where you are despite how overwhelmed you feel and despite how many things seem to be going wrong, then I think that you can find a way through it faster or find a way to turn it into something good. So how am I dealing with it? I think one of the biggest mindsets that's been really helping me is coming to terms that with the questions that I don't have the answers to, I can still make something out of the answers that I do already have. There are things that we can make decisions on. There are things that are inside of our control. And one of the first things is how we choose to not react, but respond to the things going on in our lives. You know, how we choose to respond when we're being tested, how we choose to respond to kind of, you know, people being a little shady or just like things kind of not adding up. And we can react and get angry and we can act out of our anger, or we can react and get sad and we can act out of that sadness, or we can react and get frazzled and overwhelmed and react out of that anxiety. I feel like if we suppress that feeling, then it just finds a way to boil up later. I think you have to take your moment, like tuck yourself away, set a timer on your phone, 5-10 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on how overwhelmed you feel, and just feel the way that you feel, but don't react. Like, do not respond, do not do anything. Don't make any conscious decisions in those moments, but let the emotion pass through you so that once it's out of your system, you can say, what do you have control over? And then once you know what that is, do something from there. For me, I am all day today, I've been curating a list of all of the things that have been making me just feel like WTF. And at the end of today, I know that I'm gonna go for the best run. And right before that run, I'm gonna read through that list and I'm gonna pick up all of that emotion that it was making me feel all day today that wanted to make me just like give up. And instead, I'm gonna use it as my fuel and go for just an incredible run. I'm gonna throw my headphones in, I'm gonna throw my hood up, and I'm just gonna run until I feel better. And that is how I'm gonna turn it into fuel. The second thing is just being honest with doing the best that you can, because that's all we can ever do. When things are going right and when things are going wrong, as long as you're doing the best that you can, there's not really any residual guilt that you need to carry around with you. So no matter what's going wrong, no matter what is being tested of you, just know that if you're doing the best you can, if you're refusing to give up, if you're refusing to just like crumble and self-destruct, then that means you're doing the absolute best you can, and that's all you can ask from yourself. And know that it's okay to like stick up for yourself. If you know that you're doing the best you can and you're just trying to make it by, then you can do that and you can have a backbone while still having class, you know, while still being just a humble, good person, but with a backbone, okay? Find your backbone and let your backbone reside on knowing that you're doing the best that you can with all of the given situations going on. Is anyone else kind of finding it funny that my camera keeps dying as I'm trying to film a video about setbacks. Drinks calm chamomile again. We're swimming, we ain't drowning, we swimming. I feel like the next way I've been kind of trying to deal with it is just trying to find the lesson in it all. Like, I tweeted out, and I try not to do this, guys, because I feel like it's such a, I don't like being an energy sucker, you know? I feel like there's two types of people in this world. There's people that give energy, there's people that suck energy. And I feel like there's also that sometimes little limbo in between where you're not really giving or sucking energy, you're just kind of there. But I don't want to be one of those people that sucks up energy. So I try not to complain. I try and keep the stress down to a minimal, or even just to myself, so that it doesn't bleed onto my channel or my social accounts, because that's just like, I don't want to be somebody that's just complaining all the time. Today was one of those days that I just was like, just needed to be upset. And so many people were tweeting me just like, there's got to be a lesson to this, or like the universe is testing you for a reason. And even though I wanted to just stay in that broody mood, after I went away and had my moment and did my yoga and went back to my phone and was reading those like responses afterwards, I was like, first of all, thank you guys, you're so right. And second of all, it is one of those things that, as much as it sucks, you can sit there and melt negativity all day, or you can take the 5 minutes of negativity, call it for what it is, learn the lesson from it, and then stop milking it so that the rest of your day doesn't need to be like saturated in that same energy. There are a lot of lessons that the setbacks I've had over the last few weeks have taught me, and everything from just getting so good at editing videos so fast because I fell behind, or like learning my limits and my boundaries with people, learning even just to have a bit more of a backbone. I feel like I've kind of had to strengthen my backbone a little bit and be a little bit more sure of myself recently, because I've been tested and I've needed to just be like, you know what, I'm doing the best that I can, and just learning that lesson. They're hard lessons to learn, but usually the ones we need to learn the most are the ones that are the hardest to go through. Even just finding the balance of what it is to like film every day of my life and open myself up in this way, where normally I wouldn't film if I was in this mood. I wouldn't want to like make you guys feel like, again, I just wouldn't want to be an energy vampire, but knowing that I have to work with what I've been given. And one of the biggest things that I feel like I've been learning is just my capacity of how to deal with stress. There's been so many times that something like, even just, I got one other, like right before I went to go film this, I got another email about a copyright strike on my channel. And I was just like, I had a hot second where I just wanted to give up on today. I wanted to just say, screw it, give up on everything. Go find a cave somewhere and hermit until 2019. That was the mood I was in for a hot just millisecond. But instead I decided that that would just be self-destructive behavior, and I can't let these stress triggers keep me in this self-destructive, like, how can I just find a way to just run away from my problems? Instead, I was like, I have to just go straight at them. I have to find a way to just deal with it all and stop kind of running from everything. And so even that, like, even learning how to deal with, instead of self-destruct, but self-resilience, or finding the way to self-resilience instead of doing things that are just going to make me feel worse in the long run, that lesson alone is a huge thing to walk away from. Weeks from now, I know I'm gonna look back and just see that being the main lesson that I'm learning right now. I just have to keep focused on that, and keep focused on that long enough that I work through all the things I need to work through, and somehow just hold on until the wind dies down and my ship just like chills out, and then the waves stop crashing and the sea turns back to just a calm, crystal smooth ride. This is especially for the ones where it's like somebody has kind of wronged you, you know, just really just hurt your feelings, and you're just like, you don't want to forget, but you do. You have to find a way to forgive and move on and stop. Like I said with the milking thing with negativity, this can work with people too, because if we don't learn to forgive even the apologies we aren't given, then that negativity is going to infiltrate our entire lives and our entire systems, and it's going to just wreak havoc on our day-to-day energy, on our day-to-day perspectives, and our overall sense of peace. And we shouldn't give anybody the ability, or anything the ability, to do that, you know? We gotta stay peaceful. So instead, I've made my pissed list. I'm writing down all the things that are trying to take my peace and make me pissed. And instead, at the end of the day today, I'm just gonna brew it all up and go on my pissed list run. I am going to make sure that none of this stops me from just being resilient and doing what I gotta do. I'm Mark Mansoning my life. The Subtle Art, I feel like I need to reread that again right now. This honestly, I feel like this is going to be inspiration for me to reread that book. I'll link it down below if you guys want to read it. But ultimately, the way that he puts it is at the end of the day, our life is never free of problems. And if we can just find a way to solve our problems and find the joys through solving our problems, then I think that we can find our way through it, we can coast to these rocky seas, and things will eventually ebb and flow back into feeling better, because they always do. So drink some chamomile tea, make your piss list when you're overwhelmed, find a way to turn that piss list into energy, and then put it into, if you don't like to run, put it into painting. I could even just like read my piss list and then sit down and edit a video, and I feel like just channeling that energy into anything good is the only thing that you can do that it's just like the only thing you can do. Things will eventually just get better. So I'm raising a chamomile calm tea to you. I'm taking a sip. And I'm thanking you for letting me have that little tea talk vent session with you guys, for just being there and sending such good energy throughout all of just like the stress that I have kind of going on right now. It's been super helpful. Aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's YouTuber tea talk / coffee talk. Same thing, but you know what I mean. And check out for tomorrow's vlog, because I've also been vlogging today, and it's all about kind of like, I guess it's like a follow-up video to this video, in the sense of how to kind of take care of yourself on a bad day, you know? So that video will be going live tomorrow, which means I will see you guys then. Bye guys.
Sometimes I feel so happy.